Good morning, students. Let's begin our science class. Yesterday, we have started the explanation of lesson number 14, that is the chemical effects of electric current. And this is the first chapter which is there, which I will explain in the August month syllabus. Today, in the second part of this class, I will explain page number 173 to 175 of this chapter. But before coming on to the main topic, first we will do the quick revision of what we have discussed in the previous class. So in the previous class, we have first discussed about how you will define the term electric current. So electric current can be defined as the flow of electric charge through a material. So how you will define electric current? Electric current can be defined as the flow of electric charge through a material. After that, I have explained about which type of effects are caused or generated by the electric current. The first type of effect which is generated by the electric current, that is the heating effect of the electric current, and this heating effect of electric current can be seen in the various electrical appliances which we are using in our day-to-day life, that is like the immersion rod in the filaments of the bulb and in the filaments of room heater. We can see the heating effect of the electric current. Second, the magnetic effect of the electric current. This we can observe in the solenoid and in the electromagnet. The third type of effect is the chemical effect, and this type of chemical effect of the electric current, we observe in the case of two processes about which we will discuss in detail later in the chapter, that is the electrolysis and the electroplating. Besides this, I have also explained you what are conductors and what are insulators, that is those substances or materials which conduct or allow the flow of electric current through them. They are called as conductors, and those substances or materials which do not allow the electric current to flow through them, they are called as the insulators. Now student, question arises how you will differentiate whether the given substance is conductor or it is an insulator. So for distinguishing between the conductor and the insulator, one electrical device we are using, and that electrical device is called as an electric tester. So with the help of the electric tester, we can test whether the given sample of material is conductor or insulator. I hope you have understood up till now whatever I have explained. Now we start today's topic of today's class, that is what are electrolytes. So electrolytes are certain chemical substances that conduct electricity when dissolved in water or when they are in their molten state or when they are present in their solution form. So how you will define electrolytes? Electrolytes can be defined as those chemical compounds or substances that conduct electricity when dissolved in water or when they are present in their molten state or in their solution form. I hope you have understood what are electrolytes. Besides this, one more important point you should remember about the electrolytes, that is the electrolytes produces ions, and these ions, they are positively charged as well as negatively charged when they are dissolved in water. So two things about the electrolyte you should remember, that what are electrolytes? Electrolytes are chemical compounds or substances that conduct electricity when dissolved in water or when they are present in their solution form or in molten state. And these electrolytes, they produce ions, and these ions which are produced by the electrolytes when they are dissolved in water, they are either positively charged or they are negatively charged. This, after this, when these electrolytes they are dissolved in the water, then they form an electrolytic solution. So what is electrolytic solution? Electrolytic solution is the solution of the electrolytes when they are dissolved in water. This is what is known as electrolytic solution. Here it is important for you students to know some of the examples of electrolytes. So some of the examples of electrolytes are common salt like NaCl, sulfuric acid H2SO4, NaOH, sodium hydroxide, CuSO4, copper sulfate, AgNO3, silver nitrate, NaNO3, sodium nitrate, ZnCl2, zinc chloride, NH4OH, that is ammonium hydroxide, and KOH, that is potassium hydroxide. So these are some of the examples of the chemical compounds which behave like electrolytes when they are dissolved in water. After this, there are certain chemical compounds which do not conduct electricity when they are dissolved in water, and these chemical compounds which do not conduct electricity when they are dissolved in water, they are called as non-electrolytes. One more important thing about the non-electrolyte is that the non-electrolytes also do not form the ions like the electrolytes. So these are the 2 points of difference between the electrolyte and the non-electrolyte. First point of difference between electrolyte and non-electrolyte is that the electrolyte are chemical compounds that conduct electricity when dissolved in water, whereas the non-electrolytes are chemical compounds which do not conduct electricity when they are dissolved in water. This is first point of difference, and second point of difference is that the electrolytes, when dissolved in water, they produce charged ions, that are they are positively charged as well as negatively charged, whereas the non-electrolytes, they do not form charged ions when they are dissolved in water. So these are the 2 points of difference between the electrolytes and the non-electrolytes. Now some of the examples of the non-electrolytes are sugar, urea, benzene, ethyl alcohol, and glucose. These are some of the good examples of non-electrolytes. Besides this, students, you should also know what is electrolytic conduction. That is, the electrical conduction through the electrolytic solution is called as electrolytic conduction. So what is electrolytic conduction? How you can define electrolytic conduction? Electrolytic conduction can be defined as the electrical conduction through an electrolytic solution. After that, I would like to tell you about the LED. What is the full form of LED? The full form of LED is light emitting diode, and this is LED is similar to the bulb, but it runs at very low voltage. This is the point of difference which you should remember between the normal bulb and the LED bulb. That is, the LED bulb, it runs at very low voltage, nowadays LED are becoming very common part of our life because they help in saving electricity as well as they also produce bright light as compared to the normal bulbs, which consume more electricity and does not produces too much light. In the LED bulb, if you see, there are 2 wires, and these 2 wires which are attached to the LED, they are called as leads. The longer wire is attached to the positive terminal of the battery, and the smaller wire which is present in the LED, they are attached to the negative terminal of the battery. So this is all about the LED. After that, you should know what is aqueous solution. So aqueous solution and how it is formed. That is, aqueous solution is formed when the chemical compounds are dissolved in water. So what are aqueous solution? How they are formed? The aqueous solutions are formed when the chemical compounds are dissolved in water. After this, I will explain you what are electrolytic cells. So electrolytic cells are devices in which the chemical reactions are carried out by means of electricity. So what are electrolytic cells? Electrolytic cells are devices in which chemical reactions are carried out by means of electricity. And in these electrolytic cells, electrodes are present. Now students, it is important for you to know or understand what are electrodes. So electrodes are metal rods or wires or plate-like structures through which the electric current either enters or leaves the electrolytic solution. So how you will define what are electrodes? That is, the electrodes are metal rods, wires or plate-like structures through which what happens? Through which the electric current either enters or leaves the electrolytic solution. Here one more term is there, that is, what are electrolytic solutions? That is, where it is the solution of the electrolytes. That is, when the electrolytes, they are dissolved in water, then they form the electrolytic solution. And in the electrolytic cells, there are two types of electrodes. One is called cathode and another is called anode. Cathode is connected to the negative terminal of the battery, whereas anode is connected to the positive terminal of the battery. So this is all about the electrolytes, non-electrolytes, electrical conduction, about the LED, electrolytic cell, what are electrodes, and about the two types of electrodes which are present, that is the cathode and anode. I hope you have understood, students. Now your homework for today is that you learn nicely about the electrolytes and the non-electrolytes, as well as about the electrodes and electrolytic cell. Thank you and have a nice day.